Hi, I'm professional sports handicapper Ross Benjamin of RBWins.com. It's Tuesday, June 30th, and it's time for another edition of my NFL regular season win totals. Today, we're going to be covering the San Francisco 49ers, who right now, according to a consensus of the offshore and Las Vegas sports books, has a win total of 10.5. And to go over that number at minus 125 and to go under that number at moneyline odds of minus 105. The 49ers were 13-3 a season ago. They ended up being the NFC champions as well as the NFC West Division champ. And they blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl and ultimately lost. But a fine season. I think they're going to be equally as strong this season, and let me tell you why. Well, let's start with the offense. Jimmy Garoppolo will once again lead the charge at quarterback. Garoppolo, again, I'm torn with Garoppolo. He's been the beneficiary of a very great defense in San Francisco, especially last year, in addition to a strong running game for the 49ers. However, then I look at his numbers, and they're not too shabby. You're looking at a quarterback that threw for close to 4,000 yards, 27 touchdown passes against 13 interceptions, a very good completion rate of 69.1%. So how could you complain about that, right? I don't know. The eye test doesn't always tell the truth sometime, and this might be one of those cases. Yet I'd like to see another solid year or a better year out of Garoppolo this year before I'm ready to anoint him into elite status in my eyes anyway. You look at the running back position, Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman are back, and those two guys, they combined for close to 1,600 yards of total yards from scrimmage last year for San Francisco, and they also had a cumulative 17 touchdowns. So the 49ers are in good shape there, and a lot of success for Coleman and Mostert is a result of a great offensive line for the San Francisco 49ers. And boy, oh boy, they added a real good player to that mix is tackle Trent Williams, the former Washington Redskin who missed all of last season and demanded a trade because he wasn't happy with the way the Washington Redskins training staff handled his injury. His wish was granted, and lo and behold, he not only gets traded, he gets traded to a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. So that offensive line, as good as they are, should be much better with Williams in the mix as well. At tight end, doesn't get much better than that. George Kittle, you're looking at a tight end that's caught numerous balls. As a matter of fact, to be specific, George Kittle, how about 173 catches and 2,400 yards receiving over the last two seasons? That's awfully darn good, folks. You can't get much better production from that from the tight end position. The wide receivers are going to be real young. Deebo Samuel is in his second year. He made a splash last year down the stretch of the regular season and into the playoffs. He caught 57 balls total, most of those coming in the second half of the year. He's earned the right to be a starting wide receiver on a quality team like San Francisco. And then they drafted in the 2020 draft, their number one pick was Brandon Ayuk, who is a vertical threat out of Arizona State. Right now, he's projected to be their starter. The good thing about having a young receiving core like that is, number one, both of them can stretch the field vertically. Both are very good after the catch, and they'll be beneficiaries of a very good running game. And in addition to, they'll have a defense that makes them not as much pressure on them, I should say, to come up big early on anyway. I think you'll see these two get much better as the season progresses. A lot of talent there. That's my only question mark I have on offense for the 49ers. Defensively, this was a team that was stout, or a unit, I should say, that was stout a season ago. Number 2 in total defense, number 1 in passing defense. As a matter of fact, the 49ers allowed an off-the-charts 169 yards a game passing last season. And that's playing in a division with some pretty good quarterbacks. Even Arizona at 5-10-1 last year had Kyler Murray, who put up really good numbers as a rookie. And then you got Russell Wilson and Jared Goff as well. So when you consider all that, that's a remarkable job in pass defense for San Francisco. And much of that is attributed to veteran cornerback Richard Sherman, who's still very capable as a lockdown cornerback. And then also you're looking at defensive ends in Joey Bosa and Eric Armstead. These two combined for 21 sacks and 29 tackles for losses a season ago. The 49ers schedule to get off the start, I should say, the first 3 weeks of the season, they should be 3-0, folks. I mean, their first 3 games, home against Arizona, then at the Jets, at the Giants. Those 3 teams combined to go 16-31-1 a season ago. The schedule does get much tougher from that point on, but I like San Francisco to win 11 or 12 games this season. I like them to repeat as the NFC West Division champions, and they'll vie for an NFC crown once again. Having said all that, I like San Francisco over 10.5 wins at moneyline odds of -125. Up next, the Seattle Seahawks. Until then, God bless and good luck, folks.